Yo, yo, yo. Hey, guys, welcome back to another awesome edition of the Best Practices Show podcast. You ever looking for one thought or one word that could change your entire team, improve the culture, really give us a lot of motivation around our core purpose? Well, today, Marco Brindis, dear friend of mine, shares the one word that made a huge impact on his team, his culture, and his core purpose. And he shares that one word today. So please listen up. I hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll see you soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Practices Show podcast. You know the jam here. I get the coolest people in dentistry who are my dear friends, who are speakers, teachers, influencers all over the world in the world of dentistry. And they share great thoughts, insights to help you create a better practice and a better life. And I have a dear friend of mine who I've gotten to know over the years on the speaking circuit in the Seattle Study Club. His name is Dr. Marco Brindis, and we're going to be talking about one word to create an amazing team. Marco, thanks for being back, brother. I appreciate you.
Hey, what's up, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing great. So it's always good to see you and see what you're up to. You guys are going to see this guy's a great thinker. And if you haven't had him to your study club to speak, what are you thinking? Like, he's an amazing speaker, teacher. So give us a little background first, because we have a lot of different listeners, new young listeners too. Who's Marco Brindis? What do you do?
All right. So Marco Brindis was born and raised in Mexico City. That's where I went to dental school, and a dental school that my dad started. And I have my dad as my best teacher ever. That kind of got me connected with other great clinicians in the U.S. And I remember the first time I heard the word, the name Dr. Shish. And it was when I was in high school, and my dad came back from a meeting and said, like, "Oh, you have no idea. I saw this guy, Dr. Chiche." He said the word Chiche instead of Shish. He had Chiche, Dr. Chiche, and he plays the guitar like nobody. And his work is so amazing. People perhaps don't remember how dentistry looked like 20 years ago, but it didn't look real, right? Metal ceramic restorations and everything, and it was used to make the big change in uh, in dentistry. And he was so amazed, and then I got that tattoo in my head. And so one day I decided that, okay, I'm going to study with Dr. Shish, and I moved to New Orleans to study at LSU, and that's where I am right now, in New Orleans. And I was at LSU teaching for 17 years. I love teaching; it's one of my biggest passions in life. But it felt like I was in dental school, and it was like being with your parents in a great environment with a great family. But at the end, you have to do your own thing. It was about time to fly and make your parents proud and make them proud. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I decided to do 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, I left the dental school, stay in New Orleans, and bought a pros practice here in New Orleans from a great prosthodontist. And I said, well, I am buying a practice from a prosthodontist established for 35 years. This is going to be easy, you know?
Right.
I'm Marco Brindis. I'm just going to go there, and I'm going to show them all of how wonderful things I do in my dentistry. I realized a week after taking the practice that I was completely lost. That that a dentistry, when you open a practice, when you buy a practice, is not necessarily what is going to make you successful. It's a big part. No doubt you have to be good. You have to be prepared for your patients.
Right.
But the running a business. That was a nightmare. And I think many people will agree and will feel the same pain that I have felt on the last 3 years. And saying, how am I going to live like this? How I'm busting my butt. It's not that I'm being lazy. I try to do my best. I work as much as I can, and I still can just make the payments. And he's like, how is that possible? And then it was a crazy place. I didn't know how to guide my staff. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. It was definitely a terrifying experience, with understanding that without struggle there is no progress, right? And I have a perfect opportunity to enjoy a lot of struggle and to really hit me hard. And you have to be creative, and you have to get yourself to recover from that. And that's why I talked to you. We were thinking about talking about my being treated and everything. And then the first thing I told you, can I tell you? I want to tell you, the first thing I told you is like, can I stop you for a second before we start talking about me? And I said, I just want to say one thing. And I said, before I start anything, our broadcasting, I want to tell you that I just want to express how I feel right now. And how I feel right now is I love my staff.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love them so much. They're so in tune. They're so professional. They're so compassionate. They are my left and right hand. They are always there for me in every possible level, with the patient, outside of the patient, with my family. They're my family, and it's amazing. I'm so grateful and so so what's the word I wanted to find? I'm delighted. I am not necessarily surprised. I'm not trying to say that, because at some point I think I thought this has to work. This will work one way or another, but I didn't know how. But to feel this, I feel like I'm in the right place. I feel that I'm in the right position. I feel that I made the right decision to open my own practice and have my own thing. And it's because of the people that I have, that I get to work with, and it's my staff.
Well, can I ask you a question? Okay, so a lot of people listening to this are not in that position. And like I shared with you before we hit the go button, 61% of dentists say, according to the ADA research information, that the number one challenge they will have for the rest of their careers is finding, hiring, keeping, and growing great people. So the question becomes, well, let's go back a little bit. It was not always this case that you loved your team, correct?
Yes, and I have to be, in fairness, it had a lot to do with myself. You know, when
Tell us more.
truly, because it's not that I have bad people, you know, that I was working with bad people or people with bad intentions, nothing like that. But there was no cohesion, there was no connection, there was no common understanding of why we were here, you know, and what was the purpose of being here, what was the purpose of the practice. And it took me a while to kind of that really figure it out, and to understand what was my vision and how to implement that vision, and how to put this in their mind, in their hearts, to understand why we were here. And I think I've been getting better at that as we go, and that's the things that have been improving on attracting great people that has your same values and with the same purpose, and also to keep people with you. And that was difficult. It was not to find somebody, to hire people. It was very hard, and to keep them, it was very hard.
Yeah.
And to get them in here and try to start training them, and then suddenly you're spending so much time training them, and as soon as you start getting somewhere, and then they leave.
Yeah.
or there's something going on, and there's some drama here, drama there. And I mean, we humans are experts in creating drama. It's just our nature, and how is not it's not going to happen in your office. I mean, look back a little bit. If you look into your family, your own family, have you ever had any drama experience in your family?
100%. Yeah. I'm
All
not
of us,
all of us.
all of
Yeah.
us have to deal with that, and we love each other.
Yeah.
And many times we love each other, but we still have drama because that's who we are. We have different ideas. We're stubborn. We are egotistic. We are. It's part of ourselves, and it's fine. And the first thing is to understand and accept who we are, and understand that that's who we are. That helps you to keep not to keep your guard down. That helps you to deal with the punches.
Yeah.
So I will tell my staff is like we are family, and we have to treat ourselves with a family, but better,
Yeah.
because we're gonna stick with each other, and we're gonna show respect for each other, and we're gonna show love for each other.
Yes.
And we got that point right now, and that's
Okay.
phenomenal.
All right. So go back to a couple things. You said the purpose of the practice. Now, I'm totally picking up what you're putting down. I'm completely tracking you, and I agree. Marco, how can the purpose of my practice improve my team condition or finding the right people? So how does that relate? Because a lot of times, and I'm just asking you this because people ask these questions all the time. I have some positions I can't find anyone to answer ads. And when I do, I can't find the right people. But, I just need to find somebody. You're telling me the purpose of the practice was a big turning point for you. And I'm with you. I'm totally with you. So I'm going to back you up after this. I want to know, how does that relate?
To say that again.
Purpose of the practice, how did that improve conditions so much for you?
Well, at the end, and I've been learning more and more. I know it because I have always been like this. I decided to be a prosthodontist when I was 6 years old. So when I was 6 years old, I have clear vision that I wanted to do pros.
Yeah.
And here I am. I'm a prosthodontist, right? Then when I was in high school, when I heard about Dr. Shish, and then when I saw him lecturing, I said, I'm going to go to New Orleans. I didn't know if I had money to do that. I didn't know if I had the grace to do that. I didn't know if I would have an interview for that. I just know that I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, that's how I am been dealing and building the practices by, let's use the same recipe as always. That doesn't mean that you don't have to struggle to get there.
Right.
There are going to be many things that you have to deal and figure out to get there. But what keeps you alive, what keeps you not getting demoralized in the process, is by knowing where you're going and by knowing that it's going to happen no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though I had the vision at the beginning, and it didn't happen right away, I had the vision that since I was 6 years old, why is the purpose of me being a dentist? And it was solely one mission, and it was to take care of my patients, to take care of people, to make a difference in their lives, to really see in an egocentric way, saying, I want to be the one to heal them. I want to be the one to give them happiness. I want to give them a purpose in life. And I was that ambitious. I really was that ambitious to give happiness to people. And that was my purpose. And the reason I'm in this profession is for that. It was never, believe me, it was never my intention to, I didn't think when I was 6 years old, what is the work I want to do to have money?
Yeah.
That was never my intention. You're 6 years old. I mean, you want to be an astronaut, you're going to be, other things, and it has nothing to do with money, right? Well, that was my decision when I was 6 years old. I want to be a prosthodontist. And when I was in this practice, it was pretty much the same thing. But I did have a great coaching team. I did have a really great marketing team that took the time to really interview me, to get my ideas out, to help me materialize where am I going exactly,
Right.
be clear. And I was taught to be as clear as possible. And at the end, when they asked me, it just came out of me. And it was in less than 5 minutes. It's like, okay, you have to tell me what's going to be your core value. What's the core value that is going to engine your whole practice? And that core value that whatever you do, have to match that value, have to match that goal. Whatever you do in your practice, have to match that goal. And the goal was to get to the patient's heart. Whatever we do is to get to the patient's heart, to get that part. And when you get to the patient's heart, that's when the patient feels he's being taken care of, that the patient feels, okay, I can be happy, and that when the patient can communicate that happiness to everybody else. That was my absolute ultimate goal. It was that, to get to the patient's heart.
Yeah. So tell me how you talk about that with your team. I love it. I love it. And then talk about how that one word brings you guys together.
Yeah, well, and it's one word, right? And the one word is love.
Mm-hmm.
And truly, in my life, if you ask me, religion and spirituality and everything is fine as long as whatever religion or whatever spiritual journey you are, as long as that is leading you to love, it doesn't matter who are you worship or who are you following, because at the end, the ultimate goal of not the politics of the religion, but the ultimate goal of any religion or spirituality is love at the end, you know. So that has been always my go-to is love. And anybody that has been my friend or is in my life knows that I'm not just saying it. I
Right.
live it. I live it with me. And I think that's the key. Is more than a word, is an attitude. And I remember telling to my patients, you know that love is not a feeling. Love is not a feeling. Love is a commitment.
Yeah.
It's a commitment that perhaps you can love somebody that you don't like. Okay. And it's not, oh, no, I'm not in love. I'm not loving this person anymore. I don't feel the love anymore. It's not a feeling. It's like, oh, I don't like this person anymore. That's when you have to love the most. That's when you have to give even more to that person, to that situation, is to have that. So when we start but many people think that love is a feeling, you know, and including my staff. And at the beginning, when we were having conversations, we were talking about this. They were looking at me like, yeah, sure, of course, love, whatever. Yeah, but really, how much money we gonna make? You know, start talking about. And I remember the first meetings that I have at the beginning with staff and everything. It was questions about, what are my benefits?
Mm-hmm.
How can I get a bonus? How can I get my paid vacations? How can I get my my sick leave? It was constantly, every time that we were having a meeting, there was questions regarding, am I going to get a bonus and everything? And I know it's very important, and I'm very conscious about that, in that there's people that they live check by check. They need to be working, and of course they have to be worried about money and the benefits. I completely understand that part. But there's something always more powerful than money, and it's love. I have no doubt about that. And I guess the secret was to truly know, not just believe, but truly know that love is the answer. And everything, any conversation that I have with my staff is about love. Any conversation that I have with my staff about the commitment that they have with other human beings. That our patients come here not only giving us money, but giving us their trust. They're putting their body to us. They're offering their most precious thing to us. And they're allowing us to work on them. What a huge responsibility we have with our patients.
Right.
We have to do our best. But the only way in this crazy world, in this crazy, I mean, you have seen it in practice, how crazy it gets every day, how crazy, and you get demoralized very easily, how crazy you get with a conflicted patient, with a drama in between the staff. It's crazy every day. Paying the bills, it is crazy, right? Being afraid of being sued or liable, it's just, and the one thing that keeps you afloat is love. It's just that one thing that keeps you afloat, that keeps you, whatever it is that you have to take care of, that you have to fix, you're going to do it because there's only one way.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to reach to the patient's heart. It is with love. Love for what you're doing, with your co-workers, but at the end is the ultimate love. And all that comes from the patient, the ultimate level, which is to be the patient, to reach the patient's heart. So from there, well, to get there, we have to love each other first. To get there, I have to love what I'm doing. To get there, I have to really be here in my on my A game. And that's how it kind of started doing this. But at the beginning, I guess one of the things that started changing more, it was to constantly, it's very important to keep revisiting what's our purpose in this practice. And the purpose and the vision is the most important thing. Once you set your vision and exactly what you want, the rest are just details.
Yes. Yeah. And so tell me about this, as you started to put this in place in your practice, not every day works perfectly. And you've already described love, and I completely agree. It's a commitment. It's a decision. As a prosthodontist, you don't always love every single patient that comes in. You don't always love every interaction, but it's a mindset that you guys talk about on a regular basis. I didn't ask you, do you talk about this core value with your patients at all, or is it more of an internal dialogue?
It's more like an internal dialogue. One of the things that I always tell them, and it's pretty simple. And on the first appointment, I always have the tendency to tell them, look, I'm going to present you a treatment plan that I think is best for you. I want you to understand one thing. I'm not in this business to make money. I'm in this business to take care of you. Having said that, I'm not looking to have business, to get a business with you. All right, that's not my purpose. Right. I'm looking forward to take care of you. And if somebody else can take care of you better than me, I will recommend you to that somebody else. I just want you to be taken care of. All right. I'm not looking to make business with you. Now, if you decide with me, of course, we do the business. Yes, but that's not my goal. And I tell them, if for some reason, for example, with my connections being in LSU for 17 years, if somebody, financially have problems, I don't want to jeopardize their treatment because they don't have money and you just do one part. Instead of that, I refer them. It's like, let me refer you to somebody that I know in LSU that perhaps brings the cost down and they can help you doing everything that you need to do. So I express to my patients that you're right. It's internal when I talk about that to get to the patient's heart. But I know it's just about looking at that patient. And you're right, as a prosthodontist, we get the patients that nobody wants to see. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. It could be complicated here, but it can be very, very complicated up here. And those are very challenging, but at the end, I see it as an opportunity, and an opportunity for me to be creative, because these patients that comes with so much barriers and so much fears, well, you have to even go the extra mile to reach that heart. And it's amazing when you reach the heart, how everything falls apart. All the things that the patient built to protect themselves falls apart, and suddenly he becomes a completely different person.
Yeah, absolutely. I have so many questions about this. And how did your team respond positively? Did it take a while for this? Because I can only imagine some people are listening, and I completely agree. I think core values and really talking about the core purpose of everything you do is so much more important than the how and the day-to-day and all of those kind of things. I totally get it. But what happens when team members don't want to do this or it's not resonating with them? Give me some guidance on how
Ooh,
you handle that.
yeah. Like I said, there was no there was no vision at the beginning, and without a vision, really, that's the main thing. I think that without a vision, there nothing can happen. Because things are never gonna go your way in the
Right.
practice. So you plan for something ideal, but the practice is gonna continue throw you a curveball all the time, and you cannot adapt if you don't know how to adapt if you don't know where you're going,
Right.
right? Um, I call it that the GPS, right? The first thing that you do is to put the address, and then you figure out which route you're gonna take.
Yeah.
And once you have that, if there's a construction on this side and there's a problem, immediately you know where's the address, you know how to correct and go to another way. And that didn't happen at the beginning. That was the main thing, and that created resentment. I'm lost. There are people, they're in a constant stress all the time. Um, the day I bought the practice, the front desk quit. So, I mean, the day I bought the practice, it, interesting. Anyway, but it was very hard. I always try to give a chance. I would like people to give me a chance because I know I can do better. Uh, Sometimes I guess I kept some people too long. Sometimes, and people would tell me, like, "Why? What are you waiting for?" Like, because I think I can make a difference. I think I can make a difference on this person, and I continue with that. But it was very hard at the beginning, and at the end, I don't have any of the members that I have originally on the staff, and I keep being. So a couple of things that I see now that I can conclude. First of all, you need to have a vision, and
Right.
you need to communicate that vision with your staff. And how? I have every week, I have half a day of administration time with my staff.
Okay. Tell me
Half a
more
day.
about that. How do you do that?
So every Tuesday morning, we get in the morning, we go over the week, we go over the patients, we go over the cases if they're here or not, problems. We have a parking lot area when we drop all the things that went wrong during the week or the things that we need to improve or something. So we go over that. You just write it. We have some whiteboards on everywhere, so they can put some ideas like we need a trash can in here. There's too much dust when we polish dentures. How can we do that? So we have our time there to go over things. We have the other thing that I've been doing, and I started doing that when I was in dental school with the residents, and it was we need to create, we need to find common ground. We
Right.
need to know we need to know each other personally. I truly believe that it's very important to know each other personally in a very deep way. We're talking about reaching the patient's heart. That means
Right.
humanity. If you're not connected, there's no empathy.
Right.
There's no way you can reach that level, of connection.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that I hammer with the staff. That is very important. And one of the things that I started doing with the student, with my residents, again, I need to connect with them to be able to perform best as teacher. So one of the things that I started doing, I said every morning, one is gonna be in charge of two things. You're gonna play the song that you like the most, and what does it mean to you, and
Yeah.
why it's important in your life.
I love it.
So they come and present that, and after presenting that song, I have a big screen on the conference room, and they played YouTube, and we can see the video with the lyrics and everything. We listen all carefully to everything. It's their day to really get to know that person, and at the end, they're gonna give us the phrase for the week. They're gonna give us the phrase for the week.
I love
And
it.
it could be something as simple as without struggle, there is no progress, for example, right? The last one, believe it, you're gonna remember this one. The last
Tell me.
one from me, it was my turn, and my song was "You Can't Always Get What You Want. You get what you need."
Oh, I like that.
And we used that during the whole week, you know. And I played the song, and then I explained why I like the song, and understanding a question that we all have done before. For example, you have, uh, people, family that have cancer or had went through cancer,
Yep.
or a problems in their marriage, or a tragedy with the kids or parents, and and always the question that comes to us, to you, to me, if I get something so bad, it's like, why me?
Mhm.
Why me, God? I'm a good person. Why me? Why me? I have to have cancer. Why me? And that question, that you can always get what you want, you get what you need, leads me to a different question. Instead of saying why me, is why not me?
Mhm.
Why not me? What makes me so special that I don't have to struggle in life? And so I put together that message, and I talked to them about that, and you have no idea how much it means to them to speak them from your heart. And when you put that example on them, it doesn't happen overnight, but the more you do it, the more they understand that they can talk, that they can actually express themselves. And we have reached the point that they come and they don't even think about it. They just go for it, and they just start talking like the best motivated speakers that you ever heard. Really nice things. We have each other. It's always something that we conclude. We hug each other at the end. And that culture is something that they're so looking forward, and they're looking for that day, and they're so looking forward to hear what song now you're gonna show me. You
Right.
know, the last time I show a song, it was "Love Is in the Air," and they said, like, something, love is in the air. Look around, look around. How's everybody? It's everywhere, in every single thing you do. Love is in the air. Pay attention. Don't let go to see those signs of love around you. And everybody was just like, at the end, to say goodbye at the end of the day, they would scream, "Love is in the air."
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I can feel it. At the end, everybody was screaming that, and we're going back home with that mentality to try to find the love in every single thing that they were doing back home.
Yeah. Marco, you are such an inspiration. As if any of you guys know Marco, he's legitimately authentic. This is truly something that's so important to you. So I love this, buddy. I do want you to actually, I want people to find out more about you and find out where, if they want to find out more about you. But give us some final thoughts on this one word that makes an amazing team.
I guess, well, I don't guess. I know all you need is love. It's, the Beatles say it very well. All you
Mhm.
need is love. And if you put your love, that comes with a whole packet. It comes with commitment, comes with decency, comes with respect, comes with we being there for everybody. And once you start bringing that to them, and you don't give up ever on that, they know that you're resilient, and they know that it doesn't matter how bad life treats you, you still treat people with love, and they can see that. And everything is, it's the best way to communicate with people is by example. It's not just a word, but it's just by example, you know. And I guess the advice for everybody is just like, don't hesitate to show who you are, to show your vulnerability, to show your weaknesses, because that's love.
Yeah.
And to show your commitment to them. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Don't be afraid. It's the most rewarding thing to do. And I got to the point that I feel so lucky and so blessed to have a team that I can really count on it in any time, and that how much I see them, how much they help each other, and oh my God, and I really don't experience drama in the practice, really, and the patients, they come and say like, wow, Dr. Means, you're good, but your staff is amazing. He's like, I know, I agree with you. Your staff is amazing. And you see my reviews, they always have something to say about my staff.
Yeah. It's awesome, buddy. That is awesome. And I think you've nailed it as far as the secret to success with human beings, period, especially the ones that you work with. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you so much being on. And I know you're going to help a lot of people and inspire a lot of people today. So do me a favor. If somebody's listening to the podcast and they want to learn more about what you do, how do I find you? Where do I go? What do you tell me where to go and find out more about you?
My email address that I actually check, and you for sure you will get a reply. If you reach at me, for sure you will get a reply, and then we can take it to even talk to him on the phone or whatever. But the email address is marco@smilesbymarco.com. Again, it's marco@smilesbymarco.com.
Awesome.
And that is the best way to contact me. I love to everything I do, my cases and everything. Again, is with the same passion and with the same love, and it's just about to show you. I like to show my mistakes. That's more that I found a lot of value in showing all the documented cases, all the wrong things that I have done. Over the years, mistakes that I have made, how do I have to I've been able to work around those things, and I show the way to deal with those mistakes. But I love teaching; is one of my biggest passions in life, and I'm here to help. I'm here for the community. I love my dental community. I'm a nerd. Most of my friends, they're dentists. I was born and raised a dentist with my dad, and now everything is around dentistry. So I'm here for you whenever you need me.
Awesome, brother. Well, thank you for showing up consistently for me and for the dental community, brother. It's always a pleasure. So thanks for being on.
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you. And stick around while we say goodbye to everybody else. But thank you guys for listening or watching the Best Practices Show podcast. As you can see, Marco's an incredible human being. We're going to keep bringing it with great people to give you some great insight, help you create a better practice and better life. So I hope you enjoy today. Keep sending us suggestions of things you guys want to see, and we'll keep lining them up. And until we see you guys next time, or you hear from us next time, keep watching or keep listening to the Best Practices Show. You guys enjoy your day.